You're listening to Zeitgeist Banana, a podcast all about the English language. My name is Gideon. I'm in Paris and I'm joined in London by John. Hello again, John.
Hi there, Gideon. How are you doing?
Today we've got something very interesting. It is how to criticize, how to complain. It could be interesting.
I think so. Can I complain about the topic?
You can complain about anything you want. Last time, if you remember, some time ago now, the last podcast we did together, it was about how to speak politely. So this is kind of a continuation of that. So you're speaking politely, using polite expressions. Do listen to that podcast if you haven't yet. But this one is you're in a situation, there's a bit of conflict. How do you resolve the conflict? We've got some expressions on that and some techniques. Yes, there are techniques. Do you know about techniques to criticize?
Breathe deeply. No. What are the techniques?
Well, the most famous one, there are many. There are many that use in business, that use in your personal life. And the most general, the most famous one is called the feedback sandwich.
Oh, is that when you say something, you kind of copy what somebody else says? Is that right?
Not quite sure what you're getting at there, John. Not really. It is a sandwich. The clue's in the word sandwich.
Is it something tasty?
Not really. Let me explain. Okay. So this is a very common way of criticizing, and you start with saying something nice.
Oh, I know what it is. Yeah.
You know what it is, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you give the feedback, which is the criticism, and then you finish on something nice as well. So, for example, if you and me, John, are flatmates, and you're not tidying up the house,
it would never happen. Never happen.
It would never happen. Probably more like me than sleeping in the mess. But I would say something like, "Hey, John, I really." It's really great living with you. You're such an interesting person. It's great. We do podcasts together. However, you couldn't tidy up a bit more often, could you? Because you really leave a mess. And thanks again for making that lovely cake you did the other day, that carrot cake. It was delicious. But just make sure you clean up a bit more often and everything would be fine here. Yeah.
So I can't make carrot cake without making a mess. Like, God, sorry, am I supposed to respond in that way, or
no, you can.
Supposed to respond positively to your feedback sandwich? I mean, yeah,
you can. I think the idea is that people start off with the criticism, and that antagonizes people. If I confront you, John, you leave such a mess. Yeah. Stop leaving a mess. I can't stand it anymore. You'll have to leave if you do it again. That's really antagonistic. So if you start with something positive, you finish with something positive.
Yeah, that's pretty harsh when I'm baked you a carrot cake. I mean,
do you know how to make cakes, just out of interest?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay. What's your speciality? Do you have a speciality?
Carrot cake. There you go.
Oh, it is your speciality.
Honestly,
just out of the clear blue sky, I picked that one.
No, I made a very good tiramisu once upon a time, but it's not really a cake, is it? It's a bit different.
The tiramisu was invented by one person, wasn't it? I was reading about it recently. It's not such an old recipe.
No, yeah,
70s or something.
Yeah, invented in Treviso, where I used to live.
Oh, is that right? Oh, you're an expert. You were taught by the actual guy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. This is the original recipe. The guy who invented it taught me how to make it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's why it's so amazing.
There are other techniques which we might go into another time, but I thought we would also look at some of the vocabulary about criticizing, sort of phrases you can use in order to soften the blow, to make it soft and kind. So whatever you say, you still say it with kindness. Always speak kindly, ASK.
Right. Yeah. That's a good philosophy of life, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. So let's look at a few expressions, okay? I've got some here. Maybe I'll start, and then maybe we can like brainstorm and give a few more, and then we could maybe do some role plays and use them in real life situations. How about this? The first one I wrote down is you might want to. If you're always arriving late to work, I could use a phrase like, you might want to get an earlier train. You might want to take an earlier train. It's a good idea. That's quite gentle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wake up earlier.
Yeah, that's less gentle.
We appreciate you being here. You might want, but we appreciate your presence here at our office. But you might want to get up a bit earlier because you've been arriving late. More gentle way of speaking.
Yeah, that's quite a nice way of putting it, isn't it? I guess because it's like saying, okay, I've noticed it's an issue, but I'm not directly criticizing you. I'm saying maybe you should adjust your plans slightly so that they fit more in with my plans.
Have you ever worked in offices, John? In an office?
Yes, I have.
How was that for you?
It was much better for them than it was for me.
Is that right?
Well,
what were the
probably
issues?
not.
Were there any issues?
Were there any issues? Yeah, I mean, I think you always have issues in offices, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, I think once I went out partying all night with some of my work colleagues and didn't come into work the next day. And,
really?
And one of the colleagues that wasn't invited to the party told on me. It was terrible.
Really? Oh, yeah. And what happened? You got into trouble?
I got in. Well, kind of. Yeah, I got called in by the boss, and he obviously knew exactly what had happened and told me not to do it again.
But did you phone in sick? Why did the next day? Did you phone in sick, or what was the situation?
Well, yeah, I kind of phoned in sick, but the person that I phoned in sick to was my supervisor, and she knew the situation, and she was, well, I didn't appreciate the fact that she actually was totally honest to the boss.
Yeah. Did you confront her?
I didn't confront her, no, but yeah. So I was upset though.
Okay. So in that situation, I could use another phrase. If I was being polite, of course, it's all about being criticizing. I'd be like, but I could use if I were you. John, I noticed
that could be a bit threatening. It depends on the situation, right? Go on.
Yeah, but I could just sort of lash out at you and just say, "Don't ever do that again." Yeah. But you've got to build relationships. You've got to see the people every day. So another phrase would be, "If I were you, John, I know you're young, you like to party, but if I were you, I'd just party the weekends because we need you here during the day. You might want to, arrange your social events for Friday night or Saturday night." How about
that? Yeah. You should have been my boss. I mean, that's a very nice thing to say. Thank you, Gideon.
Okay. Can you think of any other phrases that could sort of soften the blow or expressions?
Don't get me wrong.
Okay. Don't get me wrong. I didn't think of that. How would you use that then? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you're a bad worker. I'm just saying that you're a lazy bastard.
Yeah, that's not going to cause any conflict at all.
It's trying to say, don't misunderstand me here, and then you say the thing where we shouldn't be misunderstood. Is that right? Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, pretty much, yeah. So it's so that somebody understands you correctly, isn't it? So yeah, especially when you're criticizing them, because it's basically saying I'm not trying to be horrible. I'm just trying to help you in some way by giving.
Well, can you give me an example then? Well, like for me,
Don't get me wrong, Gideon. I think you're a very nice guy, but your coffee's not quite up to scratch.
What? You know how much time I spend choosing the right coffee and making the coffee.
Indeed, but perhaps that's a bit too much conflict for you. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll give you a chance to think of some more expressions in a second, but I've got a bit of grammar as well. which you could also use. And this is try plus verb plus ing. Try plus verb plus ing. And, try is an interesting verb because it can be followed by an infinitive. I tried to call John, but he wasn't there. Okay. But when someone is making the same mistake again and again and again, you use try plus infinitive to talk about making an attempt in a different way.
Don't you mean try plus gerund?
Yes, sorry. Yes, try plus gerund, a verb with ing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, for example, well, given the same example as before, you're late a lot. Like I said, well, John, try getting an earlier train. Okay, obviously you're late. Try waking up earlier. Try not going to bed. Yeah, the negative would be not plus the verb and ing. So try not going to parties during the midweek on a Wednesday night.
I can try it, but I can't promise.
Okay. You can also use this try with machines, can't you? The computer's working. Well, try rebooting it. Not try to reboot. So it's a common mistake is to say try to reboot it. That would be just make an attempt. But if you say try rebooting is, well, we've done lots of things and it's not working. So this is a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. Good phrase. Good grammar.
Yeah, it's good grammar, is it? Very useful grammar. Try doing this.
Yeah. I like it.
Okay, John. Try. Can you think of another example of try? John, your carrot cake was a bit dry.
What?
Try putting in some more butter.
Your coffee was a bit bitter. Try using some different coffee beans.
John, you're a pain in the ass. Try shutting up.
You started it. You insulted my carrot cake.
Okay. No, but usually this try it is to be serious. It is a polite way of suggesting alternative behavior. So are you so if for example I can't sleep at night, you would say to me, John, what would you say?
Try wearing some earplugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah. Can you think of any other expression or something you'd use?
I could say, without wishing to hurt your feelings, Gideon.
Oh, that's nice. That's very polite. More polite than I imagine.
Yeah, without wishing to hurt your feelings, I think your bowler hat doesn't look quite right on your head.
Okay, I think that's a very polite expression, isn't it? Without wishing to hurt your feelings, and then you put in the criticism. Okay, without wishing to hurt your feelings, John, your cakes are okay, but I think you should, don't take it up professionally.
We're going to have we're going to have a bake off. I'm going to make a cake. You're going to make a cake, and we're going to see who wins. Right? Yeah.
I never claimed that I could bake cakes. No.
Well, I'm going to win then, aren't I?
Yeah, probably yes. I can make flapjacks.
Can you now?
Yeah, next time you come round, I'll make some flapjacks. That's only because they're so easy. They just put it in a big bowl and just smash some sort of honey and oats and whatever and butter, and you put it in the oven. It's so easy. So that's basically the limits of my.
So that's your cooking style. Just smash something up and put it in the oven.
Basically, yeah, yeah.
But to be fair,
that's a nice one.
Yeah. To be fair. Yeah, to be fair, you are a very good pastry chef. So really? I'm not criticizing you, am I? Sorry. To be fair, it's not Gideon's fault that he's not very good at cooking.
Okay. All right. So again, to be fair is another one of those softening expressions, isn't it? He's not very good, but to be fair, he's just started 2 weeks ago, so we should give him more time.
Yeah. To be fair, he had a traumatized childhood, so it's not his fault.
Yeah,
he's a dysfunctional idiot.
Again, this is something which you could use in the feedback sandwich. You could say something like, "Well, overall, it's good. Overall, it's good." And then after giving a general bit of praise, and then you come in for the criticism. overall it's good, but there are a few things that could be improved. Yeah, you should maybe have used carrots in your carrot cake and not
parsnips,
broccoli.
Broccoli. Okay, yeah.
It'd be broccoli cake.
I frequently mistake broccoli for carrots. So yeah.
I'm interested in like cakes that have vegetables in. I've seen that before, like carrots and courgette. Is there a rule which ones you can use and which ones you can't use? I really know very little about cooking. Somebody can write in and let me know.
Somebody can give us a vegetable cake recipe.
Yeah, well, why do carrots work and not broccoli, for example? It's a mystery to me.
I don't know.
Why?
I suppose carrots have a little bit of a sweetness, don't they?
Yeah, they have like a high sugar content.
Mm.
Maybe that's why. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and broccoli would turn into a mushy mess as well.
That's okay. By the way, I should tell you, we did the feedback sandwich, but I said there are lots of different methods. You can research them online. There are lots of different methods for giving feedback, and one of them, I can't remember the name of this one, but it's a criticism of the feedback sandwich. It goes, no, the feedback sandwich is no good because you don't get the results. You tell people the criticism, but you don't get the results. And there's another method where you get the person. So say, for example, your presentations are sloppy. We work together and your presentation's a bit sloppy and you're whatever, I don't know. And so I've got to make sure that you do better presentations. So what I do is first I meet with you and I have to get you to agree where the problem is. Okay, so John, have a look at this presentation that you did on climate change. What do you think of it?
It's amazing, isn't it?
Do you think it could be improved?
No, it's perfect.
No, John, you're not really capturing it. You have to kind of agree with me. That's the whole point of this exercise.
Sorry. Yeah. Yes, you're right. It could have been better. I was up late at night.
So you agree then that you can improve your presentation skills just in general?
I think with the guidance of somebody like yourself, then certainly yes.
Okay. All right. So that's the first stage where you get the person to agree that there is an issue, that it needs something to be improved. Okay. And then the part two is what action we can take. All right. So what about we enroll you on some kind of presentation course, John? Would that be okay? Or you can work together with, I don't know, Margaret. She's very good at presentations. You can put her in touch with you and you can work together to improve. Would that be good?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to work with Margaret. She's the best at presentations in the whole company. So yeah.
Okay. So then now I've got that stage two. And then the final stage is we meet again and we check that you've improved what you had to improve. Okay. So John, that's great. So what about you give another presentation in 3 months to the company, and we can see how well you've improved then. Would that be okay?
Yeah, that's great. Margaret's given me loads of tips, so I'm going to knock them dead.
Okay. So there you are. That's another technique, with the name of which escapes me now. That's another technique for giving feedback, because the feedback sandwich, you just say what you want to say, but it's just forgotten. It just goes into the air.
Is this the management guru episode or something?
No, I just thought it just blends in well with these expressions on criticizing, because you could use them as well. So I could say to you, for example, you might want to speak to Marjorie, okay, and I can put in touch with you and we can work out a timetable and try practicing the new techniques, and we'll meet again in 3 months. So all these expressions we're using now, you could use in these feedback things. So it's all linked together. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I think the important point is not only improving your English, but also becoming a better manager at the same time. So we're giving you 2 things.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Any other expressions you have?
Well, how shall I put it? I don't think you quite did it as well as I wanted.
how shall I put it? Is that your expression?
Yeah. Is that a good expression?
Yeah, I think it's a nice expression. How would you define that expression then?
So I'm trying to be careful with what I say so as not to hurt your feelings or create conflict.
I think it's just before the criticism comes, you use that. You're about to say something which is critical.
Yeah.
And then you prepare the listener. So you are, John, how should I put it? Not the best at cookery. Something like that, yeah?
Potentially, yeah. You're giving me a complex about my
you had
cooking
silence.
skills.
You had silence. Suddenly.
Yeah, I was just a tear
Okay.
kind of rolling down my cheek. That was all.
Okay. No, but I said it so kind, in such a kind way. That's nice. It's your expression. How should I put it? So I think, okay, I have to take a deep breath in now because the criticism is about to arrive.
Yeah, you do prepare yourself mentally, don't you, when somebody said that? And yeah, I mean, you could also say, let me put it this way.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Let me put it this way. You are well. Let me ask you a question, John. Mm-hmm. I said, have you had any like conflicts with work, with flatmates, with things like that? Can you give an example for the listeners of a conflict you had? Maybe we could work out a solution together.
Yeah, so there was a conflict with one of my flatmates not giving me my deposit back.
Oh.
In a very timely manner.
And then what happened?
Well,
beat him up.
Beat him up. No, eventually it was resolved. It was mediated by the other flatmate who was very nice and was on my side. So that was good news.
Okay. I can tell you about conflict I had with a flatmate many years ago when I was sharing an apartment. And this guy, he used to cut his toenails in the living room and put the cut nails in an ashtray on the table. And then he used to go out and leave them there.
Oh, that was pleasant.
And I thought, no. So I had to confront him. I don't think I was so polite though. But really, it was too much. But I could have used, I don't remember what I said actually. I could have used one of these expressions. Another one I've got is how about? You just use that one, couldn't you? That'd be pretty easy.
Yeah. How about not putting your disgusting toenails in the ashtray?
Yeah. How about you cut your toes in the bathroom? Not your toes, your toenails. You cut off your toes. That's so pleasant.
That's a pretty disgusting habit, though, isn't it? Dude, how long did you live with him for? He sounds like a nightmare.
For a few months. The strange thing is, he was quite a tidy person in most respects, but he just had this habit, and I don't know why he'd do that. Return to the grammar, John. I think you could also use. We should mention this. You should have plus past participle. You should have told me. This is not necessarily polite, but we should use it anyway because it's very often used. John, you're an hour late. You should have called me. I was just waiting for you at the station, and I tried to text you, but you didn't reply. You should have replied. You should have called me or warned me. I could have done something else.
It's true. Yeah, I'm sorry. My phone. I dropped my phone on the tracks, and that's why I was late.
Okay, so this should have plus past participle. So it's a way that we.
But I could. Sorry to interrupt. I could retaliate, couldn't I? I could be like, "Well, you should have waited for me on the correct platform."
Okay. Yeah, you could. Yeah, John, you cancelled at the last minute. We had a lesson, and you cancelled the last minute. You should have informed me by email or by phone.
Well, you should have made it at a good time when I could have made it. So yeah.
Okay. You don't have to come back with.
Oh no, I don't. Sorry. So normally you wouldn't do that, would you?
But I'm sure you're an English teacher. I'm sure you've had situations. I think we all have when students, our lovely students, 99% of the time, but some who just cancel at the last minute and expect you just to, rearrange your plans.
It does happen on occasions. That's true.
It does happen, doesn't it? Okay, so you've given some very nice expressions for feedback. Any more?
I mean, this is an interesting one. I remember working and saying this to potential client, I got my head bitten off. But when you say with all due respect.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
Or maybe it's with the greatest of respect. I think that was the phrase that I used.
Yeah.
And I seem to remember the person saying, people only say that when you think somebody's an idiot. Yeah.
It's interesting because I use that expression. I remember using it the other day.
Really?
Yes. Yeah, someone was making an assumption that I was going to be there for them at any moment. And I thought, well, I appreciate your call, but with all due respect, I don't think I'm going to be available those days or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But I also it's quite polite. It's saying, well, I respect your point of view, but mine is different, and you have to see it from my point of view.
Yeah, I think it depends how you phrase it, doesn't it? And who's on the end of the line, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you phrased it in a very nice, soft way. So, yeah.
I know you want to appear in my podcast. Well, not appear. I know you want to be on my podcast every time, John, but with all due respect, I have lots of very interesting guests, such as Matt Damon, who also want to join. So I'm afraid I won't be available every week.
That's terrible. Yeah. I'm upset now.
Well, he's Matt Damon.
Yeah, but you told me the other week that I was better than Matt Damon.
Well, try not taking it personally.
I'll try not to.
But, you might want to just sort of calm down a bit because Matt's going to be on soon. And,
all right. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to your podcast, but okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I hope those are useful. Do you think you're going to use the feedback sandwich or the other one that I can't remember the name of?
Yes, because I think that was good for management. Yeah, I'm going to be able to manage the teachers at my school much better. So that's great.
I don't think it's only management. I think you can. It's more difficult to use in your personal life, but you can, and you can adjust it. So that's quite a good way, as long as you're not antagonizing people. And at the end of the day, you both want to get a better result. It helps, everybody if things are working more smoothly.
This is true. Yes. Yeah. So how would you do a feedback sandwich with the toenails in the ashtray?
Well, I guess I would just say the same thing. I just say, Mark, I can't remember his name. Mark, it's really nice living with you. You're a very interesting person. But would you mind not leaving your toenails in the ashtray in the living room? It's just disgusting. And just take them away, and everything else is okay. We'll it's always nice talking with you, but just sort that out if you could. Is that right?
Okay. Yeah, well, that was fine. Yeah. I'm happy not to do it again. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go, John. Now's your chance to say who you are to the listeners who don't know who you are. So go ahead.
Yeah, great. I'll do my stuff. So my name's John, and I have a podcast called English with Monty. We do lots of stuff related to the English language. I've been doing 8-minute English episodes. I recently did one on articles. So if you're having trouble with articles, then hopefully that will help you. Okay.
Well, there you are. So thank you everybody listening. And do remember, you can also watch our YouTube videos on Let Them Talk TV. And I'll catch you on the next podcast. Bye.
Bye.